and welcome to Utterly Geeks Gaming Social Hour for the first week of November 2018.
Almost said 17. I was like, whoa.
No, I almost said 16.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I'm flashing. It's election night, so
well.
Jesus Christ.
just having flashbacks, man.
Same level of stress about this time of the night.
Meanwhile,
Hey.
I'm just like, hey, man, video games.
Yeah, well, most polls are closed, but you should have voted today. And if you're listening to this on any other day,
you're late, you fucker.
Yeah, you're late. You're late. Congratulations if you voted. If you didn't, you're a terrible human. Anyway, we're here to talk video games and get away
Hey, man,
from the
come on.
political
I mean, we
mindspace.
might have some international listeners. Come on.
And they should have fucking voted.
Should have flew overseas and fucking voted.
It's called an absentee. You can do it from any country.
Okay.
Actually, you can do it from any country if you are a United States citizen. I'm not advocating for voter fraud. Don't do that. Don't do that. Video games, they're a thing that's been happening all the time. It's never been a better time to get lost into a game.
Mm-hmm.
Since I have the least to talk about.
Really?
I wrapped up the story mode of Soul Calibur 6. Now, this isn't... there's actually two story modes.
Okay.
So I wrapped up the more traditional one. I forget what that's called. I think it's just called the Book of Souls or something like that. Where you choose a character and you go through 5 or 6 different chapters of whatever and get their story. And it is an entire retelling of the original Soul Calibur.
Right. Yeah, that was what they announced when when they announced it, that it was supposed to be like a reboot in a sense.
Yeah, it kind of is, but I thought that they would take the story up and through Soul Calibur 5 as well, and it kind of leaves on a cliffhanger of like you kind of know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also odd because you have characters from Soul Calibur 2 and 3 in there. So you're kind of getting their side of what was happening to them.
Okay.
Like Talim's story, who is a Soul Calibur 2 character, her story doesn't start until after the events of the first Soul Calibur. So after Soul Edge is destroyed, spoilers, and all of that, is when Talim's story picks up. And you get a really good graphic of a whole timeline with the year across the top, and it's all fairly historically accurate as for the events of the world. So like Mitsurugi, that's the one thing I don't like how they portrayed Mitsurugi. He is a dumb as bricks samurai, but they didn't change his motivations. So in 1530, that's when gunpowder and rifles were introduced to Japan, and they became a threat to the samurai. So Mitsurugi is trying to find Soul Edge in order to defeat rifles, to prove that the samurai are just as effective as rifles.
Okay.
That's literally always been his motivation. That's been his story.
Okay.
But they made him dumb as shit.
Oh.
Like, he barely listens to anyone. He's just a big meathead that wants to fight everyone. Like, even when he's told of Nightmare, he calls him the Knight of Mare. And it's like, oh my god, it's so poorly written. But it's what you'd expect out of a Soul Calibur game. But it's interesting because you also get, like, what's her name? Tira. Well, if you bought the character pack. And she's a Soul Calibur 3 character, and so you see weird shit going on with her. But it's a lot of the characters that even didn't make it, like Huang or Lizard Man, show up prominently in this mode as other characters that people talk to.
Okay.
And they go a little bit more in depth with like Maxi and his relationship to his pirate crew and Astaroth and all of that. It's a really hardy. It took me maybe 15 hours.
Jesus.
At this point to get to that.
For a fighter game, that's pretty good. That's pretty lengthy.
Well, I haven't even really started digging into the other mode, Libra of Souls, where you create your own custom character, and they're also going through the events of Soul Calibur 1. But it's more in line with the Dreamcast Soul Calibur.
Okay.
Where you have this big global map, and as you do things, you get new routes, and you go out, you're collecting currency, you're getting listen, you're getting bigger level swords, and you're feeding other swords into those swords to make them better swords.
Naturally, yes.
And you're leveling up. You can switch your character's fighting style at any time, depending on what weapons you have available to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's stuff off the beaten path. So you go on these little expeditions, which costs you in-game currency to get to. And then you're getting food, which will power you up for single fights. You can enlist mercenaries, which are auto-generated characters, to where you're like, if I don't really want to fight this one, just send a mercenary to do it. And the AI does it. Okay. Makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking in-depth, and I haven't even played this online against another human.
Mm.
And what's my current play clock? Let me take a look at that real quick. Because Soul Calibur 6 has so much... Yeah, 24 hours I've put into this game already.
Nice.
And I haven't touched a second of online play.
Mm.
There's a lot there if you are a single-player fighter, which is basically what I do.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
Nice.
Geralt's story is equally as dumb, but it sounds just like a Witcher side quest.
Hmm.
Essentially, he finds a witch. She teleports him. And he ends up in this world. He's like, I gotta get back. And his entire thing is him trying to find a portal back and running into everyone else. And Mitsurugi wants to fucking fight him because he's like, I've heard about this wizard guy who uses magic. Like, oh, God. It's really fucking stupid, and I love it. I love it. I also, because of the Humble Monthly Bundle last month, picked up the original, not the original, but Hitman from 2016 on PC. And I realized, I don't know a fucking thing about what happens in the story of that. So I'm going through and playing through the story.
Okay.
I'm up through Sapienza, and I think my next location is Marrakesh.
Mm.
But fuck, man, those games are so goddamn good.
I've with the announcement, with Hitman 2 coming out soon, I kind of want to get back into it again.
You should.
If Red Dead wasn't taking up so much of my fucking time, I would definitely get back into it, because it's such a good slow burn of a game. Like each playthrough is just so nice, because it's just like you spend so much time planning and plotting of how you're going to assassinate your target. And I guess you could see, I can kind of see on both ends where it's like it's frustrating for some people because it's just like you're waiting so fucking long for your target to like reach some destination,
right?
But also it's kind of like that's what makes it all the more rewarding, because you're just waiting for them to get to that spot, and then like once you execute it and if it goes fucking perfectly, you're like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Or even if it doesn't.
Yeah.
The way when the AI fucks up just right to where this shouldn't work, but it did because the AI is kind of bad at times, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So I went for, in Sapienza, there's a way to murder one of the guys he has a golf lesson,
yes,
like very early on.
Yep.
So you can replace it with an explosive golf ball, and I realized I'd never done that. So I grabbed the golf ball, I knock out a guy who's supposed to be delivering flowers, because when you go to deliver flowers, you walk right by him as he's practicing golf.
Okay.
So I just walked over and literally just dropped the ball in his bucket while everyone was looking at me. He looked at me as well. I just dropped it in, walked away. He hit the ball, and they're like, body found. And I wasn't suspicious at fucking all. I'm like, yay, broken AI. It was so fucking good. And then, what is it? The other woman that you have to kill in that is having an affair with his golf coach.
Yes, I played that scenario, yeah.
So after fucking around with the golf coach enough and getting him isolated, I disguise as him, call her, and I just wait in the room. My drop for my safe room was the lethal injection, which I'd never used before. I wasn't sure how it worked.
Okay.
So I call her up, and she's like, oh, well, do you want me to meet you right now? He's like, yes, I'll be in the room, and you'll be waiting, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just sitting in the chair waiting like a fucking creeper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She comes in, starts talking her line, but she's got, like, the the circle over her head that I know if I stand up, she'll think I'm suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So she runs through her whole spiel and her phone call and everything. She's like, well, I have to go. So she turns her back on me. I'm like, oh fuck. So I get up to run across the room, pull out the lethal injection. She opens the door. Her bodyguards are on the other side of the open door. And I just stick her in the ass with this. And she starts choking like very loudly. So I just shut the door. And she dies pressed against the door. I'm like, success. They have no idea. Oh, God, that game's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how I killed her in that scenario. I think it was just like, it was one of the challenges where I think if you just use like a silenced weapon, I think, or something.
Yeah, there's one of those.
Yeah, because there was something where it's like the challenge was very specific to that scenario, and you had to use a certain weapon. So that's what I used, and I think it was just like a silenced pistol. But yeah, I think if it's like, I don't recall sitting in the chair. I think I was just like standing and waiting for her, and I think she was the one that sat down in the chair. I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I've played it, but it was definitely something where, again, very much your situation where she did her whole thing, and then I was like, okay, and then once she kind of turned her back, I just pulled out my pistol, just like right in the back of the head, and she fucking like threw her into a basket, and then was on my way out. But yeah.
I remember the first time I did that, I put on the romantic music, but then I hid in the bathroom.
Okay.
And I waited for her to come in. She started making a drink, and I just fucking garroted her.
Oh, that's what it was. I poisoned her drink. That's what it was. Because I put on the romantic music. I poisoned the drink, and then basically just sat there while the music was playing. So then that's when she was like, "All right, I'll make you some drinks or whatever." And then and I just sat there with my glass, and then she drank it and fucking choked and died.
Oh man, yeah, that game is so satisfying. There's a level of satisfaction over a perfectly executed kill, but then there's also a level of satisfaction of when you totally fuck it up, but then somehow pull out of the tailspin.
Yeah.
And turn it around into everything's fine.
There are no witnesses if there are no witnesses.
Right. So I highly recommend anyone who watches any kind of Giant Bomb, go look up their Merry Hitsmas videos.
Oh, Jesus.
Because those are fantastic. They set up their own challenges where when you go to play, they draw out an outfit and a weapon. And that is the combination that you have to use to kill the first target, and then they do that again for the second target, and you get some really stupid shit going on.
Well, they usually pick the target as well.
Well, no, they didn't last year. So last year they did Sapienza, and they're like, okay, your first target will be this outfit and this weapon.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think the first year they let them pick, but I'm really happy that 2 is coming out. That means Hitsmas will keep running. Oh, it's gonna be good. And I do want to get through the story because I did get up through Marrakesh. Previously, I was trying to do like all of the challenges on each map before moving on.
Yeah.
But this time around, I just want to get through the story and play each of the maps and know kind of what's there. And then probably go back through and do some of the challenges when I want to.
Yeah, that'll probably how I'll do it once I reinstall it. I think I probably still have it installed, but yeah, because I kind of do just want to get through it, so then it's like, okay, I want to see what my options are for the map. Because right now I love the first 2. Like, the first 2 maps are just fucking awesome. Like,
yeah, because you know them the best.
Right, exactly. Like, I probably could use a little bit more time with some of the other ones, but well, I mean, some of the later maps are really fucking difficult. Like, one of them is like a military officer that you need to kill, and it's just like,
yes, that's Marrakesh.
Yeah, and
I remember the first time I did that, the way I killed him, I waited until he was like in front of me on the second level, just looking over a balcony. So I just came up behind him and flipped him over the balcony, and I'm like, "Whoop, that's it," and walked away. It worked perfectly. I think that's a challenge, actually, to kill him that specific way.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, he's a giant pain in the ass because he's never alone.
Yeah. The only way I was able to do it was I disguised myself as a captive, which is
Mm.
what you do. Like I think it's like if you dress yourself up as a guard, and you basically convince the other guards in this interrogation room, like, hey, the captain wants to see you or whatever. They'll be like, oh shit, okay, and then they'll leave. But you have to obviously gather intel to do shit like that, and
Yeah.
and eventually it got to the point where it was like, you convince the other guys like, oh, leave me with him or whatever, and then it was just like me and the other dude, and I basically just like, I don't know if you can kill him or if it's just like, I don't remember, or maybe it was just like, hey, I'm gonna put you in this closet, don't say a fucking thing or something, and you basically just swap clothes with him, or maybe I did just like take him out like non-lethally. Just like choked him out and then swapped clothes, threw him in a closet, and yeah, you basically just go through this whole process where like you're the one that's like the captive, and he comes in, and like that guy comes in with guards, but eventually like calls him out, and he starts like talking to you or whatever, and like the whole time you can have your weapon ready like in your inventory, and you're just basically like pretending like you're handcuffed. And I think I had a screwdriver or something.
Those are the best weapons.
And he gets real close at one point, and it gives you the prompt to fucking jab him in the neck with something, or hit him over the head with something, and I fucking did it.
Oh man.
And then then the hardest part was getting out of there, which unfortunately like they kind of heard a noise at some point and started investigating that room, and I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I just like quickly like left there.
You're completely boned at that point.
Yeah, I think a lot of my problem doing a lot of those missions though is like I always want to go for like not having the body found, whereas some of the challenges are just straight up like, yeah, just fucking kill him, like whatever, it doesn't matter. Like
the one with the chess guy who's defecting, and you have to kill him because he's trying to defect and fly away on a Cuban jet.
Yep.
Fuck not being seen. I did the ejector seat kill in that one.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's the fucking funniest.
Yeah.
Like, now just pull the lever. Okay, here we go. Yep, and I'm just gonna walk away. It's so fucking good. Yeah, I really want to see where that one ends up. I'm really curious about Hokkaido once I get to the Japan one, because that is bringing back Hitman 2 Silent Assassin vibes. Because there's a very similar mission in that one. And it was the only one I ever got Silent Assassin on way back in the day, and it felt so fucking good.
Nice.
Because you can go in disguised as the chef and just poison the sushi. So what you end up doing is you serve the sushi, someone else takes it out to him to deliver, and you use that time just to get to the exit, and then you just stand and wait and wait. And so, oh, he's dead. I'm leaving. It's really good. Fuck, Hitman's good. Two looks like it's going to be just as good.
Yeah. Possibly better.
Yeah, that multiplayer looks real fucking cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's like a spy versus spy kind of deal.
So, spy versus spy, but also, like, you see their world.
Yeah.
But it's not your...
Yeah.
There's a couple of good moments in the Giant Bomb video where they're highlighting that. Other than that, I was trying to get into the Halloween mood and made the mistake of watching the Netflix movie Open House.
Okay.
This stars the guy from the Goosebumps movie.
Like
the kid.
Oh, okay.
The main kid.
Okay.
The entire premise is his father dies right in the beginning, and it forces his mother and him to lose the house. And so his mother's sister offers their cabin for them to live in, but they're selling it. And so it's an open house on Sunday, and you have to make yourself scarce so that the people can come in for the open house. But what if someone stays after and starts fucking with you? Like, that's the entire premise.
Oh Jesus! It's funny because I pulled up an article. I pulled up an article here because I haven't heard of it, but
there's a reason for that. It's not good.
The title from Forbes itself says, "Open house is what happens when Netflix gives up any semblance of quality control."
Yep. Yep, there is nothing scary. It's all illogical. The conversations feel like this is someone who's trying to emulate humans but has never actually spoken to a human.
Oh god. Yeah, it's 11% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's see, I do like some bad horror films because sometimes they turn around and end up being hilarious. House of Wax is fucking hilarious. It's terrible, but it's hilarious.
Right.
But there is no redeeming quality to this movie. The ending is unsatisfying. The tension is non-existent. It's not. It's boring. It's just boring. Avoid it. Just don't watch it. I've wasted my time so that you don't have to.
See, the movie I watched for Halloween was What We Do in the Shadows. Again.
I need to see that.
You should have spent that hour and a half to watch that movie because it's a fucking goddamn great movie.
No, I should have just watched The Descent again because that is my favorite horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Descent?
No, but I know of it.
Watch it with the correct ending, which is the international ending, not the saccharine US ending.
Okay.
You'll know it. That it is the that it's the international ending, to where if it ends and you're happy, that's the US. If it ends and you're in a state of existential terror, that's the correct ending.
Right.
It's so fucking good. And I should have watched that instead of Open House. It was bad.
Hey man, there's still time. You could still make yourself feel good and watch What We Do in the Shadows, because that's
I should actually watch that. Yeah, because that's more of a comedy than a horror anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out where it's a little spooky because you're like, oh god, what's going on? But like, and there's like a couple of little jump scares, but they're not like, it's just like a little like, oh, like kind of like that kind of jump scare, not like, oh Jesus Christ, but it's just like a little enough where it's like, oh, like your heart races a little bit, but like that's about it. But yeah, otherwise just, oh god, that movie's so fucking phenomenal. I love it.
I should watch it.
Yes.
Well, that's it for me though.
Cool. As far as shows, nothing. Movies, I saw this past weekend Bohemian Rhapsody. So there's like apparently mixed there's like mixed reviews right now going on about it. I would say if you're a fan of Queen, it's an excellent movie. If you really know Queen, like if you really know like the timeline of things happened and know the band's history, you might get a little frustrated. But like overall, I mean, it's kind of like that's
the Rami Malek movie, right?
Yes, which he does a phenomenal job doing. Freddie Mercury, like really excellent. I mean, everybody that was like so perfectly cast for that movie. But yeah, like if you kind of like take a step back and you're like, okay, let's not think of it as like Queen, let's just think of it like as a movie. It's kind of like just like a standard run-of-the-mill rock band. Like all the plot points is such like a standard rock band movie that's like you know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to pan out. But like after reading about it, after like the events that happened, you know, because like they do all the key big points in that film, but like reading up on what actually happened and how they turned out, I was like, yeah, wow, they really just kind of changed a lot of things just for entertainment's sake or for pacing's sake or
right,
you know,
that's what Hollywood will do to anything.
Yeah,
like
it's yeah, I mean, you gotta. I thought about it like after the fact, like, you know, it's a movie for entertainment purposes. It's not a documentary because there's already documentaries that are out there about Queen, about Freddie Mercury, about like, you know, that whole band's life. So like, you know, if you want to like really know what happened and what was going on and all that shit, like, you know, go watch those. But if you're there just to be like as a fan and you're just like, hey, I just want to be entertained and see this story unfold, kind of like loosely told, but also have an experience with Queen, because like the last 20 minutes of that film is them playing at Live Aid, and they do a fucking great job of like, it's like 1-to-1 perfect recreation of Live Aid.
Wow.
Which is phenomenal. Like, because I watched it in the movie, and then and my girlfriend who I went to go see it with, she pulled up a video of it that was like the best quality that was recorded, and it was like exact. Like it, like the motions that they do, the movement, the way that Freddie Mercury's dancing around the stage, all of his movement, like it was perfectly represented. So it was like that whole bit near the end was like, that was awesome. Like you felt like you were there, like fucking watching the damn thing. So that was pretty fucking awesome. But I mean, you know, there were also some really great little funny moments in that movie that, you know, so like I said, if you go see it for like entertainment purposes, like you'll definitely get it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're even loosely a fan of Queen, you'll enjoy it. Which kind of also got me into thinking like, Jesus, all I really know about Queen is just like all their greatest hits. I've never listened to any of their albums like from beginning to end. So like,
right.
So I've kind of been going through their entire fucking lineup of stuff, and I'm like, God damn, there's some music in here that's just like, I wish it was represented more. But,
right? Yeah, it's amazing when that happens. I kind of had that kind of moment with David Bowie. God, years and years ago, where I'm like, I really only know Space Oddity, and go through it like, oh wow, that was Bowie. Oh, that was Bowie too. And then there's really good like other album like B-side stuff that, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, even their first album, like Liar, their song Liar is like fucking good. Like I was like, Jesus, this is awesome. Like where the hell was this? But yeah, I don't
not
know.
radio friendly, but very good.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so I've kind of been going through and listening to like everything that they've put out. You know, aside from like all the live stuff, but yeah, no, it's been pretty good. I've been loving that. So, but yeah, as far as that's all I've seen. I stopped midway through Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, not the first book.
Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Yes. I stopped for a number of reasons. Let me get this in though.
Stephen Fry's voice.
No, he
just grated on your soul.
No, I loved the first book because he read the first book, but he didn't read. I tried to look, and he didn't read any of the other ones, or at least I couldn't.
He only read the first.
Yeah,
oh.
Yeah. Which I mean, so I mean it. I really enjoyed the first book because of the story and also because of Stephen Fry. And with those two together, it was fucking awesome. But I, you know, and not to discredit Martin Freeman because he is a wonderful actor. And you know, like I felt like he was reading that book fairly well.
Oh, Martin Freeman read the second one?
He reads all the other ones. He reads 2 through 5. Yeah. So yeah, he does read all the other ones, and I thought they were fine, but I stopped midway through 2 just because, like, with the first book, you don't know what to expect. Like, you don't know like how just wild shit is, and it just goes fucking nuts, and you're loving it just because like you don't know what's gonna happen next. But once you reach to like, I mean, for me, once I got to book 2, it was just kind of like, oh, I expect wacky shit to happen because that's just how this series has kind of gone. Like, this is how it's already introduced. So when they do weird, funny shit, it's like, it's not like
shocking.
Yeah, it's not shocking anymore. Like, it's like, oh, okay, like I should always expect the unexpected, basically.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar thing. I made it through the second book, but I started the third and just never got through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a series that I've been wanting to go back to and actually finish, because I was just reading the book. I wasn't listening to the audiobook, so I didn't have the performance side of things to worry about. But yeah, I think I kind of came into the same conclusion as you did. Yeah. And this was back in high school. I mean, I love those books. I love the first 2 books.
Yeah, I think for me too was that in the second book, because there's just like a whole section with oh god, I forgot his name.
Ford?
No, not Ford.
Slartlebart?
Yes. No, not him. He is in the first one, but he's not in the second. Or well, at least as far as I know, he wasn't in the second. At least.
Slartlebart is. He's okay. The one who designed the Earth.
Okay. Right.
Zaphod?
Yes.
Two-headed dude?
Yes. Yeah. So they have this whole thing where like he goes into this whole ordeal where he had to find someone to get back to the ship and everything, and then like it's like multiple chapters of this going through, and then it just ends up where it's like, oh, he had the heart of gold in a miniature size in his pocket. And like even he was like, what? Fucking really? Like, come on, man. And so it was like, oh, cool. So I basically just wasted like several hours of my life listening to this whole story where not much has really changed. And it's like
it's the journey. Listen,
I guess
I'm noticing a pattern with you in entertainment and being really concerned about wasting your time. But if it's time enjoyed, it's not wasted.
Right. So I guess during that whole journey, I didn't enjoy it. So that's why I
So
felt
then
like
there you go. Then that is a waste of your time.
Yes. So yeah. So after that whole segment, I was kind of like, I guess I'm done with this. And so I moved on to Ender's Game.
Yeah. Man, I have some feelings on Ender's Game, and they are complicated feelings.
I know, and that was kind of why, like, I wanted to listen to it because it obviously had an impact in literature, but
yeah.
But like, I also understand that I've heard from you of like your reasons why.
Orson Scott Card is a garbage human. Like, that's my big problem with it. Mm-hmm. And separating the artist from the art, again, as well established, is a difficult thing for me. I love Ender's Game on a very deep level. That first book is incredible. I haven't read anything beyond it. Mm. My problem is supporting Orson Scott Card.
Right.
In purchasing that book. So listen, I donate money to the Trevor Project to offset that, so I feel better about myself. Like, I'm finding ways to deal with it on my own. Ender's Game is incredible.
Right, yeah. No, I'm almost like 7-8 chapters in already, and I'm really enjoying it. So
okay, so I'm gonna allow you to go into spoilers about Ender's Game. Where are you? Because I don't want to say a goddamn thing.
Right. He's playing a game right now where it's zero gravity that he's in, and he's like wearing suits. Like, everybody's wearing a suit.
So he's in the station. He's been assigned to a team?
No.
Okay.
Wait, yes. Yeah, because they talked about like all the different colors and everything.
All the different crews.
Yes. I'm trying to think the last like big event that happened. They did introduce the kid that he breaks his arm. That's like the French kid.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they did introduce him. Did they fight? No. Or maybe they did. I don't. It's weird because I listened to it like literally earlier today. For some reason, I already fucking forgot what happened. But maybe it was just because maybe I was getting a road rage and I was yelling at someone and lost track of what was happening. So,
see, that's why I can't listen to audiobooks and really retain it. That's just me.
I do a lot of times. Like, I was able to retain the Harry Potter books fine. Like, a lot of the other books fine. It's not to say that Ender's Game is like it's boring me or losing my attention, but It just didn't sink in just yet, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, I am enjoying my time with that.
It fucking goes places, man. And Ender's
Yeah.
Game is so fucking good.
Right.
I will say where you're at right now is really early on. So he's just started to get way too much young man penis in that book. They just mention it, and there's looking back on it, there's specific reasons why they do it.
Right.
Too much for my taste, but that's me.
Yeah, because like they've already mentioned about like fucking 6-year-olds looking at others' butts, and I'm like,
yeah,
what? Like when I was 6-year-old, I didn't talk about butts at all. Like,
yeah,
that wasn't a prime concern. Fucking Batman was. That was my concern.
Orson out Batman's butt. Orson Scott Card has problems.
Yeah,
but yeah, Ender's Game is beautiful. It's a great book.
Yeah, and fucking all right.
The elephant in the fucking room. Or should I say the horse in the fucking room?
Yes, the scared horse that's crashing through everything.
BoJack?
Yep.
BoJack's here. Rewind it back. I did watch the newest season of BoJack.
Okay.
It's really fucking good. That's it. Just watch BoJack.
I mean,
everyone needs to watch BoJack.
I haven't heard that show be degrading at all. Like degrading in like
quality. No,
quality,
not at all.
Yes.
Will Arnett is fucking perfect. Like I can't imagine anyone else. There's one, I don't want to spoil it, but there's one episode that is just fucking breathtaking in how they execute on it. Much like last year, this one I think is more affecting.
Okay.
It's oh man, BoJack. Watch BoJack. As a fan of Will Arnett, you should be watching BoJack.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, fucking Red Dead. Jesus Christ. God, I think I'm already like 15, 20 hours into that game already. I definitely spent this past weekend just really being like, fuck the world, fuck everything, I'm playing this game.
I'm a cowboy.
Hey, yep. No, it's really, it's so weird because when Red Dead 2 was announced, I was like, okay, cool, glad that's happening, happy for people that are excited about it, and I didn't really have any interest in it, but then, like, after it was released, and I started seeing more and more reviews of it coming out, and I watched all the reviews and, like, watched some of the gameplay, I was like, huh, it seems pretty good. And I guess it's just because it's very like a lot of people have said it before, and I totally agree. It's a very different Rockstar game. It, like, even for, because, you know, like GTA and any like open world game, they're very hectic and fast, and they're fast paced, and you're just like, oh, I constantly got to be doing shit. Whereas like this game is so slow paced, and to some people they don't like how slow paced it is, but I'm totally okay with it. Because
I thought they were wasting your fucking time.
But I'm enjoying myself. So
damn it! The bylaws.
Fuck you. But no, I man, it's so fucking good. Just the pacing of everything. It's a lot better than how Red Dead 1 starts out, where it's like, hey, let's fucking wrangle horses and cattle for the next 2 hours, and that's the tutorial missions. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, this game, it starts, and it's like, it throws you right into it, and it's just like, fucking go.
If you don't make your tutorials feel like chores in a world, that really helps with the immersion and bringing people in.
Yes, exactly.
And that was the problem with Red Dead 1. It was literally chores you were doing.
Yeah, and I think that's why I just wasn't excited for this one. And also because, like, the length of Red Dead 1 was so fucking long. Like, I got to a point where I just wanted to tank through the main storyline. I was like, fuck all this side shit. Like, I'm just going to focus on the main people that are going to progress the plot and fuck everything else. And I got, like, something like 30, 40 hours in, and it still wasn't done. and I was just like, oh my god, like, and I just kind of noticed that the same plot points were like just repeating like over and over and over again, like, and
well,
so
that's kind of the Rockstar mantra. That's kind of how they work.
yeah.
What was it? GTA 4. About a third of the way through that, and you come to the realization, oh, you're going to drive to a place. You're going to have a conversation in the car. You're going to get out of your car. It's going to be a shootout. And then, oh, no, you got to run away from the cops or someone else. And then it'll get quiet. And then you go back to your safe house.
Mm-hmm.
And the next story mission is going to be the same shit with different dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's essentially how those games unwound. And I think that's what really turned me off about the later stage Rockstar games.
Mm.
That being said, I want to go back and try to actually finish GTA 5.
Right.
Like, I really should.
Yeah.
But Red Dead, like you said, is a different beast. And so it, like, never really drew me in.
Mm-hmm. But I would say that even this Red Dead is a different beast from the first one as well. Because there's a lot that they change and add to it that is just on a whole nother level, that I really like. It seems like they took a lot of some of the RPG elements that was in San Andreas and added it into fucking Red Dead. Like, if you eat too much food, you can gain too much weight, which then will slow you down.
Can you eat too much till you vomit?
I don't know. I haven't tried that.
You should try that and report back, because I remember doing that. There was a girl you could romance in San Andreas that only liked fat guys.
Right.
So I was trying to get as fat as I could, as fast as I could. And I ended up just puking all over the burger shot counter. And went, man, this game's awesome.
But it does have the similar style where it's like, if you run more, your stamina goes up. If you are getting into more combat, your Deadeye levels up. If you are riding on your horse and interact with it more, like if you feed it, you brush it, take care of it, like your horse will level up, and then it'll kind of like listen to you better. Like
max level horses.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. It's something about it that is just clicking on this one that I'm just like, man, this is real fucking good. And I don't know. I think it's also because like I also really like Arthur Morgan as a character. The fucking voice actor that does him is just so good. Like the voice actor that did John Marston was really good, and it was kind of like an iconic voice, but Arthur Morgan's voice is just like it's so good where it's just he can in one line be like caring and understanding, and then like within almost the same like tone also be like, I'm going to fucking gut you now, kind of thing. And it's just like, Jesus, like just his.
So rides that line between happy father and fucking murdering psychopath.
Yeah, exactly. And he does it so well. And you know, and also it's got that Rockstar charm where it's like random fucking shit happens in that game that you'll just be riding across the country. And one particular point, which I think I sent to you guys because I captured it, was I was just like riding down one direction. There was a guy who was trying to get his horseshoe on his horse, and I sit there. I was like, hey, and I like greeted him because like that's the button that you press when you like lock on to people when you don't have guns out. Otherwise, you aim at them and you'll shoot them. But if you don't have a weapon equipped, you'll like lock on them, and then you can like greet, antagonize, or rob or whatever. And so I said like hello, and like it startled the guy, so he let go of the leg. And then like Arthur was like, "Hey, do you want me to help you?" And then like the fucking horse just kicked the guy straight in his spine. I heard a horrible cracking noise. He fucking just dies on the floor, and the horse just fucking takes off. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I've heard that interaction is pretty fucking rough.
Yeah.
But I've heard that from a lot of people who played the game, so I don't know if that's like a pre-rendered thing or.
I think so, because a lot of people have said like, yeah, I've also ran into that. I ran into that guy who.
Okay.
It's kind of randomized as to when it'll happen, but it's always going to happen.
The guy shoeing his horse and
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I've already had a couple of instances where I actually got threatened to get robbed. Like, and I mean, because I know they did this in Red Dead 1 where, you know, like someone comes up to you and is like, oh, give me your money or whatever, or like they'll take your horse or whatever if you like try to help them. But this one I think executes it a little bit better, just because you could just be going down a narrow path and then other gangs will like ambush you. They'll like block your way and they'll come in like packs too. So they'll surround you and then they'll be like, hey, give me your money. And then you could like try to defuse it or antagonize them or just pull out your fucking gun and start shooting. I've yet to have it be successful of defusing it because I've tried, which normally they just end up being like, we're going to fucking kill you now. Okay. But yeah. MCJ JCM just pointed out, can we point out there's a John Marston in Red Dead 2 and John Marston, the main character, in Red Dead 1? Yes.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel. But you know, a lot of people will say like, oh, is it a prequel in the regards of where they just shove characters in your face? Like, hey, remember this person? Like, kind of deal? Like, no, they don't really do that.
You see, it's kind of weird to do that in a prequel, and I think that's a big part of the problem with the Star Wars prequels, is that they do try to do that, and it makes no fucking sense in a prequel sense.
Right.
Because in a sequel, you can call up an old character and be like, oh, you remember this? This is the guy who did the thing. Whereas in a prequel, it can't be, this is the guy who probably go and do this thing. You remember the future, right?
Yeah.
Let's remember the future.
Hey, remember those guys from the cantina? They're here for some reason. They just pass by on screen.
And hey, Darth Vader makes C-3PO. You know who that is, right?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so yes, John Marston is in it. And yeah, I don't know, like it's cool. It's there, but I'm not like, oh man, I miss playing John Marston, because I'm just enjoying my time playing as Arthur.
Yeah, I mean, if GTA 5 taught us nothing, it's that the main protagonist, who you control, doesn't really matter in Grand Theft Auto games or in Rockstar games, because they do end up writing a pretty decent story regardless. I don't think that you can point to any Rockstar game and say the story is trash.
Yeah.
It's just the story in GTA 4, I think, is probably the weakest Grand Theft Auto, but it's still not bad. It's still a good immigrant story in the disillusion of the American dream.
Yeah.
It's just mechanically it didn't work out.
Right.
So yeah, it's good. I'm glad that came out and it was good. I don't think there was any doubt that it would be bad.
Right.
Have you played with the companion app at all?
No.
Because there's hints at a PC version, which is a big part of the reason why I don't really give a shit about that game right now.
Right.
Especially given what they did with GTA 5.
Yeah.
Like, I ran out and I bought that game on PS3.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, GTA 5, hooray! Like, a year or two later, they're like, hey, look, it's also on the current systems and PC for the first time. So, yeah, excuse me if I'm not excited to be Mr. Cowboy Man. Because,
right.
Like, honestly, that's pretty shitty of them to do that and make no indication that they're actually planning a PC port.
Right.
And that's what makes me super gun-shy about any game that they release, frankly, without a PC port right alongside it. So I will continue what I should have continued way back in the day and not pay attention to their games until they're on PC.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm going to be playing this Red Dead on my PS4, and then that'll be it. Like, there's no reason. Like, the only reason why I got it for PC was because it was like, oh, I know my PC is better than my PS3. I know it'll run better, and I know it'll look better. and I want to fucking play GTA on the best system possible, and that's why I got it. Like, because I was the same thing, like, where I got it for PS3. I played it and beat it. Like, I played through GTA 5 and beat it, and then it came out for PC, and then I started playing it, and I'm like, why am I doing all of this again? Like, yeah, it looks great. Like, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But I already know what happens. I already know all the little story beats. Like, there's really no reason for me to continue playing this for the story, which is what I played it for PS3 for.
And those games are all so big and such a big undertaking that I have never replayed a Grand Theft Auto, despite really wanting to go back and replay like San Andreas.
Yeah.
Because I have my original disc copy still, which has the original soundtrack, and it isn't the mobile phone ported over to PC.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Rockstar has made some really shady business decisions regarding their PC ports.
Yeah.
Especially regarding music licensing.
Right. I think the only reason why I reinstalled GTA 4 like the last time that I did it was just to mess around with mods, and one of the mods that I played around with was the Iron Man mod, which was pretty awesome. It puts Stark Tower in Manhattan, and you go up to Stark Tower as Nico, and then you fucking go up to the, like, near the top floor, you pick out which suit you want, and then you fucking get into it, and now you're fucking Iron Man flying around firing missiles, and I was like, this is fucking awesome, and then that was it.
and that's why people continue to play those games after you beat the story.
Yes.
Is for the big dumb mods. I remember Grand Theft Auto 5, they modded like a tsunami simulator to it, where suddenly you'd hear klaxons blaring, and literally all of San Andreas, and well, all of Los Santos would get covered in a fucking tsunami, and you'd have whales swimming over top of you and shit. Like, they did some really cool dumb shit with the mods.
Right. Yeah.
It's a Rockstar game.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. With hearing some of the people say, like, oh, it's too slow paced, like, because, there's an animation for everything. Like, everything you fucking do, and it kind of takes its time. Again, like, I'm okay with it, because when I play Red Dead 2, I'm playing it to relax. Like, I'm playing it to just be like, I'm gonna kick back and fucking get into this game.
You're not playing it for the challenge. You're just
yeah. I just want to get immersed in cowboy world. Like, that's it, and it excels in that shit.
It's Westworld. You're just playing Westworld.
Sure. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing.
Cowboyland.
Other than occasionally Mario Kart on my Switch, but that's just like during my lunch breaks at work, because it's like I could just bang out a fucking trophy run during my break.
I came to the realization today that the Switch is going to be the death of me once Smash comes out, because I will need to bring that with me to work just to listen to the music. Because I will fucking do that, and it's going to be a problem.
Okay.
God damn it.
Why would it be a problem?
Because I will always have to have my Switch on me. At work right now, I always have like wireless headphones connected to my phone, and that's how I listen to podcasts and music and shit. But I'll suddenly have to like find a way to carry a Switch discreetly. After I was looking for the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack today on Google Play Music, there's a really good piano version from Crazy Group Trio. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm really excited for Smash. That's the last game I'm excited for this year. Like Hitman 2, it's cool, but I'm not going to pick it up day one.
Right.
Right. Wait.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. I'm not like super overly excited for the new Smash. Maybe that's just because it's very similar to Smash 4.
It's very similar to Smash 4, and we're no longer in college. So it
Yeah.
becomes more difficult to get
Right.
people together to play Smash.
Right.
Whereas if we were in college, I guarantee you, everyone wouldn't go to class that day and it'd just be fucking Smash all day. Make a big old bucket of Falcon Punch.
That was my issue when I was in college when Smash Brawl came out.
Yep.
I
know that.
That was an issue for me.
True talk, yeah.
I played that on unhealthy levels.
See, I didn't get to that point.
Yeah, I did. That being said, I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna get it fucking day one because it's Smash, and
they announced the Piranha Plant amiibo today.
Oh Jesus!
And it looks beautiful.
Of course it did.
I'm still waiting for the Solid Snake amiibo. Like that's really that and the Young Link amiibo are the only ones that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the K Rool, but
I mean, I have a group of friends here. Like, I mean, hell, we're having next weekend. We're having a Nintendo LAN party night where like we're all gonna be bringing our Switches. We're gonna be playing Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis.
Who's gonna bring the Wii U so that you can play Nintendo Land?
Not me. I sold mine. So,
God damn it!
So fuck you. I did have that prior to the Switch coming out.
Listen,
though, and that was fun.
Nintendo Land is fun, and it's grossly underrated as a party game.
Right.
A lot of things about the Wii U are grossly underrated. The problem, we've beat that horse to death.
Yes.
The Wii U was a neat console that makes me sad.
Really, the next game that I'm really genuinely excited for is Resident Evil 2.
The remake, yeah. They haven't shown anything of that since E3, have they?
Fucking kidding me? There's like all kinds of footage that's out there that
Nope, not a goddamn second.
There's all kinds
I haven't
of
seen anything.
Yeah, there's all kinds of Claire and Leon footage that they've shown.
Send me those videos.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Resident Evil 2 was the first one I played.
Right. Yeah, same here.
Oh man, yeah. Is that still due out this year?
No, next year, but it is like January 20 something.
Ah, so they're going for the Resident Evil 7 time frame.
Hey man, I guess they've realized this is a time to send out a Resident Evil game is fucking late January, near the beginning of the year.
Man, I just really wish they would announce Resident Evil 8 and have it be like the next one off of 7. Same mechanics.
Right.
Different location.
Right. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't lean too hard into the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really the only thing I'm genuinely excited just because I mean, they're using their RE engine and that whole fucking system of the zombie, like how chunks are blown off of them and shit, like that's just like it's on like a whole nother level that's better than Left 4 Dead, which is somehow possible.
Send me that video.
Okay. Yes,
Send me those videos.
I will, because yeah, you need to watch those.
I need to see those.
Because once you see them of how the gameplay works and how you can blow chunks off of zombies, it's like it's fucking good, man.
Cool.
But yeah, that's like the only other thing I'm like really excited for. But that's like beginning of next year. So yeah, I guess there's really nothing much that's like I'm super excited for the rest of the year. I'm just genuinely like cool. I'll either get it or eventually get it.
Game of the year is gonna be real fucking weird this year. Let me tell you, it's gonna be bizarre.
I guess yeah.
Between the three of us, it's gonna be really fucking weird.
Sure.
We're going to have to figure it out. Anyway, I think that'll do it for our social hour this week.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Catch us next Monday when we will be back for another Utterly Geek.
Oh, yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.